Life's too short to not go for broke.
What's happening, everybody? This your boy Smitty from DetroitMoundsRoom.com. I guess you can call this a Detroit Tigers season end wrap up. And of course, it's unfortunate that I'm coming to you with this video this early in the postseason. Again, the Tigers have lost to the Boston Red Sox in the ALCS. I'm going to just get right into it. My biggest gripe is the lack of run support. And number two would also be the terrible bullpen that we have. Now, you know, if I have to, you know, bang the drum about the same thing I said last year, it would be just that. Lack of run support in the postseason and the bullpen. Those are the same issues that we had last year. You know, we had close games, we had opportunities, and a lot of the fundamentals didn't come into play, and it just seems like the same old story. Some players just don't make plays in the postseason. Some players just don't want to hit in the postseason. But the bullpen is an issue during the regular season and in the postseason. Run support is an issue in the regular season and the postseason. So I keep banging this drum all I want, and that's probably why I don't do a whole lot of videos on the Tigers, because you know, you got 180 plus games, you got rainouts and all this other stuff everybody wants to keep talking about. But let's just be honest. In baseball, you are who you are. You know, you're going to have an error every now and then. But you know what? Your bullpen is going to have to come through for your starting pitching every now and then. Your big bats are just going to have to come around. I don't expect there to be any changes. Unless Dombrowski's going to leave on his own. Hey, that may happen. But Leland, he's not going anywhere. And everybody's going to call for his head. I can see it now. The hashtag fire Leland. No different than everybody wants Joe Dumars fired. Well, you know, Leland can't go out and hit the ball every time. But, you know, I'm going to let everybody have their fun with that. Leland can't make the call to get a closer and even a setup man. Let's just be honest. The bullpen has been trash for a long time. You know, I don't understand why Albuquerque doesn't pitch a little bit more every now and then. You know, he doesn't give up the long ball like Benoit does. That's part of my issue with him. His only issue really is giving up the long ball. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. With the way that things went, you could have walked a run or two in as opposed to giving up 2 grand slams in the postseason. Really? I've gone on record saying that Benoit is going to give up the long ball. In the postseason, that's going to hurt you, especially when the bases are loaded. But, hey, that was a bad call by Leland. I'll give him that. But, you know, at times, players play, managers manage, and in the end, your team has to have something that's going to make up for a mistake or two. Iglesias had an error, actually 2 in the postseason. But you know what? Those things hurt you in games. But if you have run support when you're only scoring 0 runs or 1 run in a game, it's almost no excuse to me when you have a lineup with Miguel Cabrera, Prince Fielder, and V-Mark. It just, you know, it has to come together at some point. And I gotta single out some guys, but I don't want to put them individually into a box. Ajax had problems. They moved him down in the lineup during this series, and it seemed to help. But it was too little too late. Alex Avila was getting banged up, whether it be, you know, the play behind the plate where he got put out in Game 5, or, you know, maybe dealing with the concussion issues. Also, Miguel Cabrera, dealing with his issues as far as his injury is concerned. But, you know, of course, you got the pink elephant in the room, and, you know, I'm saying that, yes, to be sarcastic, and just talking about Prince Fielder, the big money guy. Now, you know, other people struggle, but to me, those were the 4 things that you fumbled around with. We got some production out of Avila and even Peralta every now and then. But, you know, these are the meat and potatoes, because once Alex Avila is able to produce down at the midpoint of the lineup, you know, you're getting some run support there. And you did. But the top of your lineup is struggling. I don't know. All in all, you know, it's just a real disappointing season, because this team is supposed to be built to win the World Series. Now, you know, the Valverde issue to me was a bunch of hogwash. You know, Ben Watt being a closer and Phil Coke not being the guy. You know, all this fumbling around. You know, you got all this money and you put it into the lineup. You got 4 elements to baseball. That's starting pitching, your bullpen, which could be broken down into, you know, your closer, your setup man, and, you know, a couple of relief pitchers that are totally legit. The Tigers really just don't have that. The other 2 elements are running and just straight up regular defense in the field. And you could say at any point in time the only real strong attribute that you had was starting pitching. That's really all you had. So, you know, you want to add to that the bad base running. And yeah, I got to talk about Prince Fielder. He came off the bag one time to make a play at first and wasn't able to get the ball. Stop the ball. That's your job. Iglesias had a couple of errors this postseason. You know, I can go around the horn and just say, hey, you know, some of these guys just didn't either run the bases correctly, and that includes Miguel Cabrera when he didn't stop in Game 5. But, you know, when you add all these issues up, they're going to amount to you losing the game. And that's just the way it happens. That's baseball. You can't have that many flaws in your game. And to be honest with you, they put the errors in the score box to show you the reason that runs got scored. And to be honest with you, you know, to me, they should put errors in there for bad base running also, because that would tell on itself. It's part of the reason that the Tigers can't score runs. So, you know, all in all, to me, again, disappointing season. I want to hear everything that everybody got to say about how bad the Tigers were and what changes need to be made. You can say fire Leland, that's fine, but bring up a guy that you want to replace him with. You want Dombrowski out of there? That's cool too. But have somebody to replace him with. Please, you know, do me that favor. Pick a closer. Help me out, because I look across and I see everybody in the Major League Baseball, they seem to have a legitimate closer or a guy that they can actually go to. One or the other. The Tigers play 180 games, and the postseason is when they cannot get it done. The same flaws that the Tigers have throughout the regular season, they really get exposed throughout the postseason. Again, this is your boy Smitty from DetroitMansRoom.com. Subscribe to this channel, Detroit Man's Room. Check out DetroitMansRoom.com. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and like the Facebook fan page. And I'll holler at y'all.
Like